How are you doing? It feels like I haven't spoken to you like this in front of this thing for quite a while. Hope you're doing well. Been a little bit of an off-season, but now everyone's getting back in the mood for a bit of rugby league again. Listen, development fees. You may have seen I did a post about it the weekend just gone. If you don't understand what they are, what happens in Australia is if a kid is in Aerial 1, for example, and makes a development squad or a rep team. And when I say a rep team, he might make a top 40 of a squad. He is then locked in essence. And if his family moves to another area, which quite often happens in Australia, a lot of people move from inland to the coast, for example, or they move inland if they want some cheaper property. But anyway, if that family moves, or if a professional club comes in for them and wants them to go to a different area, then quite often that kid can be slapped with a fee on their head in the region of about $5,000. I've heard as much as $7,000. I've heard as little as $2,000 and $3,000. The problem with this is, when a kid signs up for a club as a rugby league player, I mean, I deal in my job, and I deal a lot of kids who play the game age 10, bit younger, bit older, and they're so innocent. They just want to play the game. They love the game, and they go there as a consumer. They go there as a consumer because mum and dad pick a club that they're happy with, that they feel safe with, where they think their development as a player and their development as a person can improve. And then they pay a rego fee, so ultimately they're a consumer. They're choosing a product and they're paying for a service for the year. If that kid gets a bit older, over 14, 15, and happens to make a rep squad, not necessarily the final squad, but a rep squad, so the top 40, but might not make the final cut for a team, they can have a development fee slapped on their head. So they go from being a consumer to a commodity. I'll rephrase that. Kids under 18 become a commodity, even though they're not contracted to an NRL club. This has to stop right now. It's awful. The problem is, kids are leaving the game because of it. Kids aren't taking up opportunities with big clubs because of it. You'd be amazed how many people got in touch with me in my inbox and told me a story. And I'm going to just skim over a couple of these stories, just so you know the real. I'm not going to name the people, but I'll give you one example of a bush club slapped a $5,000 fee on a kid. I don't know if it was a club or the district, but slapped a fee on that kid who was picked up for Mats, Harold Matthews, in Sydney. And because the club in Sydney balked at the fee, that kid did not get to go. So we're all there petitioning and saying that the bush doesn't get looked after in rugby league. Yet when an NRL club finds a kid from the bush, sometimes they're balking at the fee that the bush club or the bush district is putting on them. So we can't have it both ways, can we? If we want kids to get opportunities at the top level, we need to allow them the best opportunity to get through. Another story. Cronulla and St George region. I'm quoting the message. It's not my opinion. Or not necessarily my opinion, right? There's a thought that the Cronulla area is stronger than the St George district for juniors. So quite often, if a kid doesn't think they can get picked up by Cronulla in rep trials, they'll switch to St George. And some of the figures have been quoted at 5k again. People are sending me these messages. Now, this is restricting kids moving forward. Not to mention the fact they are kids. Development fees have to stop. And another angle to look at this too, is it only these clubs that are developing these kids these days? You've got sports high schools that spend 3, 4, 5 hours a week on sessions in the gym and on the field. You have things like QPIC up in Queensland and the equivalent down in New South Wales, where the Samoan, Tongan, Cook Island, Niuean Indigenous squads get together. Indigenous squads get together in carnivals. There are countless things that develop players, not just clubs. These development fees have to stop. Now, I know why they've been brought in, and I understand that there is a problem in terms of different clubs at the same level poaching each other's kids. I understand that. But when kids are being turned away from the game, when kids are being forced to sit out for a year, we have got a major problem, Rugby League. I'm asking everyone to think big picture, even if you're one of those clubs that has to slap on development fees, because you need to look after your bottom line. We are stopping our kids progressing. I've started a petition. I'll put the link in with this post. If you're watching this on Instagram, send me a DM and I'll send you the link, or go to our Facebook page. I'll put it on the YouTube channel as well. We've got to stop these development fees. That's enough of the rant. Been really busy with one-on-ones and small group in Brisbane. If you happen to be in Brisbane and Gold Coast and you want some one-on-one and small groups, please give me a holler. I'll offer you a great price. On Tuesday the 16th of November, the Community Coach webinar, which is on Zoom, which I'll be holding. I might even hold it in front of this banner. I'll have a whiteboard and maybe a screen as well. That is absolutely free. Once again, DM and I'll send you the Zoom link. But honestly, these development fees are really... I've heard so many stories in my inbox. It's getting really frustrating. There needs to be at least a public forum on this from the powers that be, the NRL, the QRL, the NSWRL, Country Rugby League. Talk to us about why these are in place and why they shouldn't be stopped. Why are you teaching our children to choose where they go? Why are they becoming a commodity when they are a consumer when they start? If they sign a contract, fair enough. Parents, have a look at what you're signing for your kids. Read the fine print so that you're not locked in for anything. I've seen too many kids not play this sport because of development fees. Take care, everyone. You'll see a lot more of this kind of post. See ya.